Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of Intentional Productivity Tips. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I am so excited we're going to spend some time together. You are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and even get notified of when we have new episodes. And don't just check out my show, Intentional Productivity Tips, but I encourage you to check out the other shows on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube and website. Today is a very important day. Today, we're only going to talk about one topic. Today's productivity quick tip is so important that is our show. So this week, we are going to focus on one topic. The topic is productivity downtime. When are you closed? So today we're going to talk about, and we're going to look at, when is it that you are closed? We're also going to look at what does closed mean and what does closed mean to you. But let's look at that, because when you think about it, we are busy. Our lives are getting faster. And so I do think it's important. And one question I have for my clients is, when is it that you're closed? When is it that you're offline? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. With today's productivity quick tip, it is the importance of boosting productivity through strategic rest. And so let's look at your productive downtime. Have you seen any of the social media posts recently that have talked about research shows the value of at least having one day off a week? I will tell you, when I started seeing those posts, I was giddy, because being a strategic productivity partner for over 11 years now, I've worked with clients for around the world. And one thing I've realized, first for myself and for my clients, is the value of being closed and taking time off of work. I don't know about you. I don't know what your history is, where you started work, where you are on your journey. For me, I have been in the work world since the 90s. And so I have lived through a couple of different eras of what we can, what we look at as our work world and what it is that we do. To be honest with you, when I started my career, I would have never even expected or never even knew that a strategic productivity partner was a thing. So I didn't even know to ask for it. So I am part of the generation, as many of us are, where work and what our experience has changed drastically. For the positive and for the better, I will say. I'm very glad to be a strategic productivity partner. As you've heard me say before, I love working remote. It's a core value of mine. I will not go back to working in an office. And so when we look at what all that brings, is we now know that our work world is no longer a building that we go to necessarily, right? It's not the brick and mortar experience. It can be, but because we have the internet and we're online and we have remote opportunities, we've again taken a lot of walls away from work, which means that our calendar and our clocks have always changed, right? Because when I started working 8 to 5 West Coast, we had, for us, the challenge was, again, being on the West Coast, being a California person, it was like, oh, I worked with people on the East Coast and in Nebraska. And so we were the last online, right? And so again, that was our calls and things like that. We now know that I now work with people 24 hours a day because I work with people around the world. So what all of that has done is that's created a great experience for us, right? Amazing opportunities. It's also created a huge challenge of how do we now know when to close? It used to be we would say, okay, the office closed at 5, maybe I was staying till 6, maybe 7, but there would be that closing time. And when I started work, we didn't have emails and we didn't have gadgets and we didn't have Blackberries and iPhones and things. So again, it was very limited, our accessibility. And so with the accessibility, which is a great thing, there's some challenges, which is the topic we're talking about today, productive downtime. We cannot be accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are times and there are people who have tried, and I will be honest, there have been times in my life, in my work career, when I worked 7 days a week. There are times in my work career that I would, if I had insomnia and was up at 2 in the morning, I was responding to work emails because my inbox was hundreds and I was a stressed out mess. There's no accident that I was a stressed out mess and my work schedule also was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They were connected. One of the nice things is now in the world and in the day and age we're in, we're able to have had research done to realize that working 24 hours a day, working 7 days a week is not the way we want to do it. We think we're doing it because it's productive and it's going to help us get farther. But if we look at the long terms, short term, absolutely. And one, I do want to stop and say one public service announcement or one important note. I know that there are some of people out there who are working multiple jobs for 7 days a week because they need to financially. I understand that. I'm not disrespecting that. And I also want to talk about that. We're going to talk about how when we have other things. So please know what this looks like for all of us, what being closed looks like is different. But we just want to talk about and we want to start up with what's the importance in realizing for ourselves that we have to have time when we're offline. We have to have time when we're closed. That mentality that we had 20 years ago, that we had 10 years ago of the more I work, if I work more days, I'm going to do more. Long term, we know that that's not true, right? We know that strategic rest and downtime is actually going to help us be more productive. I'll be honest, when I've talked to some of my clients about this, they'll be like, oh, Megan, you don't know what you're, no, 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 I need to not. And it's like, okay, stop. Again, if you have a short-term project that you're finishing and you're working on deadlines, absolutely, that's understandable. Nothing is perfect. We know systems need to meet the opportunity. But if we, as our core principle and our core value of how we work, if we say we are committed to having closed downtime, it's going to be an underline that we will achieve. And so we do know, again, going back to studies, a recent University of California study found that workers who constantly block off close times each week experience a 35% boost in creative output. So, University of California has found if we have a consistently blocked out close time on our calendar, then we have the possibility of increasing our creative output 35%. It is so worth making an effort and being intentional and spending energy to find out how you can have closed time. So we know that there are 3 areas of your life that are absolutely going to be impacted for the better if you have one down day a week, one down block a week. It's going to help you mentally recharge. As we know, there is no machine that can run 24 hours. Now, someone might say, let's talk about cars. So let's just move to one machine, right? When you think about it, not even a car is able to move without having fuel, without having gas, without being it needs to be refueled. So if it's good enough for our cars, if we fuel our cars or plug our cars in or whatever we're doing to charge our cars these days and keep our cars going, we need to remember and do for ourselves, right? Mentally recharge. We need some downtime. It's also better for our physical health. Our physical bodies, especially for those of us who are getting older, the snap, crackle, pop generation, as I like to call myself, when I work day after day after day and don't have a break, that first step in the morning when I get out of bed, I can feel it. Have you ever been in that situation? Think about it. One way to avoid that feeling is to be sure to take some downtime. So it's going to improve our physical health and it's going to improve our productivity. Having time away and being closed is only going to make our lives and our jobs and our productivity, well, we see from the University of California, it can increase our creative output by 35%. So I would say it's worth it. What about you? Let's talk about, what does your closed mean? Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be completely off duty? No deadlines, no obligations, just pure downtime. Picture it. You focus on all things not work related or project related. The idea of being closed is the idea that you do not have anything that is due, or you don't have to complete any specific action. It means that you're not logging in to check emails. It means if you get a message that you don't respond to it. It means that there is no active physical deadline or something you have to do for work that day. You are not logging in. This is where the remote world makes it easy for me, because for me to log into work, I need to open up my laptop, right? I need to log onto my phone. And so for me, it is a no laptop day, quite literally. For me, my definition of closed is that I am not going to check email or respond to any notification or anything when I am closed. My definition is, I am not responding when I'm closed. It is not a have to do at all. It is important for you to identify, what does your closed look like? Because if you do it, you might be able to get a ribbon like you see here, that you are very busy doing nothing. Doesn't mean, I've had clients say to me, does that mean I have to do nothing? I have kids, I have family. Absolutely not. Well, I mean, there might be time when you want to do nothing, and I highly recommend that as well. But closed doesn't mean that you're closed to the world, again, unless you want it to be. But closed means that we're talking specifically about being closed to work and professional projects. So absolutely being able to spend time with your kids, or go to soccer games, or go to anything like that. So that's why I'm saying you want to identify, what does closed look like for you based on your life and family circumstances. That way it's able to happen. What do we always say about productivity? When it comes to productivity, it gets to be all about you. And so obviously your closing time clearly is going to be all about what works best for you. So take time to define that. There are some things we wanna identify, and when we looked at our closed window, right? When is it that we're closed? We wanna be honest about a few things, right? There's a couple tips and techniques I wanna point out. One, we wanna be flexible for our life. We wanna be flexible for where we are. There are, again, some people who say to me, "I can't take a whole day, Megan. I work multiple jobs. I have to be online." I respect and I get that. There have been times when I actually haven't been able to have an entire day also. So I get that. So we want to be flexible. We want to say, what is actually one block of time? Remember, we just saw, if we block off one time block, we can increase our creative output by 35%. And so I'm not saying it has to be 8 hours or 24 hours. I'm just saying, what is a one block that works for you? Maybe it's an evening, maybe it's an early morning. Identify what works with your schedule and be flexible for the now. And then there's a day when you're going to be able to change it. As I mentioned, there were days when I wasn't able to take a whole day off because I had to have client calls 7 days a week. So then what I found is, all right, then I'm going to take Saturday afternoon for myself, or I'm going to take Friday and go to the beach. So we want to be realistic with our slots, and we want to align with our personal and our family commitments and around with us. We also want to be very explicit to schedule our time off, and we want to add closed periods to our calendars, especially for those of us, if you share a calendar, if you have an appointment setting based on your calendar. I love it. It's my time is called nope time. So you want to be able to schedule and put the blocks on your calendar. And when you're coming up with your close time process, as always, it's important to give yourself grace. If you miss a closed block, that's okay. It's not that it means it's bad. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means it didn't happen. So what's your next closed block going to be? Keep moving forward. The goal of this is forward progress, taking control of your productivity and moving to the next closed time. One thing that is especially important that I highlight, that I recommend, especially if you have clients, coworkers, family, so all of us, right? One thing that's important for all of us is you need to broadcast your boundaries, and you need to let people know when you're going to be closed. Why? because you're going to manage expectations with family, friends, and colleagues. People understand, oh, why am I not hearing back from her? Well, the reason is because she's closed. So you'll hear back from her when she's open. When you think about it, let's talk about that for a second. How empowering is that for you to know within your business, within your project, within your position, within whatever you're doing, that people know, hey, that person is closed right now. And when they come back, they'll respond to you. I mean, talk about a productivity dream come true, because people know what is expected of you. They know what you're going to do, and you're going to follow through with it. So it encourages people to respect your boundaries. And then also you want to get the message out. I always say, use email auto replies that says, hey, I am open and available here and I am not there. Block your calendar, and then give a friendly heads up in person. Also, post hours available for clients. If you want to direct people to contact you during specific times, add it to your website, add it to your social medias, or wherever it is that you have it posted. But add when you're available and add when you're closed as well, because if people know, they'll respect it. And also, it's encouraging them to do the same thing. Let's be honest. If we get more people into this having a closed time mindset, then think how powerful that will be, because we'll all understand the value of it and we'll respect each other's as well. So it is very worth letting people know, communicating, and being open and honest about it. I do remember there was a client one time when I was explaining to them that I was closed on. So my close time, I am closed from when I log off on Friday until when I go back online on Sundays. So I'm basically Friday evening and Saturday is my close time. That is when I can do whatever I want. If I work on a creative project, it's because I want to. If I have a client with client call, it's because I want to. And so creating that time gives freedom, because now I look forward to Saturday. And sometimes there's like, I do want to work on that on Saturday, or I'm going to go to the beach, or whatever I'm going to do. I let my clients know. There was a client once when I told him that, he was like, oh, does it make you afraid not to be available to somebody? And I said to him, I'm not an emergency room doctor. I am not going to help anyone with life or death situations. If someone needs to reach out to me, they're going to, and I will reach out to them. And so I absolutely am happy to be able to tell people. And that's why I'm encouraging you today. That's why I'm talking about this. And that's why this productivity quick tip is reminding you to be intentional, to be able to log off, because intentionally logging off is worth the energy and it's worth it in the long run. Productivity thrives on rest. Finding your close time is a process. Embrace the journey, stay flexible, and watch your focus, creativity, and energy soar. I truly hope this is a productivity quick tip that you spend some time with and that you implement into your life. I truly hope that you're able to identify how you can have productive downtime, whether it's a full day, whether it's a block, but find what works for you. As always, one of my recommendations and goals every week is that you learn at least one thing. And so since it was a productivity quick tip today, the one thing that I do hope that you are learning and that you have been able to follow through on is, how can you make this happen in your life? What is it that you're going to be able to do for you? How can you implement close time into your daily productivity habits and calendar? My name is Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner. I want to thank you for spending time with me today. You are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. You can also find me on our website. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I am here every Thursday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. Thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being with us. And if you ever have any questions or want to reach out, please send me an email at megan@indelible.global. I'm happy to respond or answer any questions that you have. And now a word from our sponsor.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes, building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette, and
I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I find I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BSc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.